a lot of stuff that people are arguing about on social media, whether it's like women, body count, like you see all these like common threads on social media now, like podcasters. All that shit is already detailed by Dr. Buss, much better than any of these people are saying. It's status. You want to know how status works? Dr. Buss is like a preeminent expert on status. That's why you brought up that picture where it's Jeff Bezos and his girlfriend, I forget what her name is.
Lori Sanchez with
and then DiCaprio. Yeah. And of course, I don't know if it's actually true, but they captured an image where she's like, so she's got the richest man in the world. Mm-hmm. But what Dr. Buss told me in 2014 is the first thing he talked to me, because I was giving a speech and he came up to me. He's like, this was a good talk. I had a woman's mind in that 12 component algorithm. And I gave a talk in Vegas. I didn't know who this guy was. He comes up, he's like, it's a pretty good talk. How'd you learn all that? I was like, trial and error. And he goes, pretty good, but you're missing one thing. And I was like, what? And he's like, status. Status is the most powerful thing on earth.
You're talking about Justin Bieber on the iced coffee.
Well, DiCaprio. Who would you exchange to be? If you could actually live a day in the life, not the delusional pain avoiding bullshit that most men have. But if you lived a day in life, you entered their consciousness, their body for a week, and you were Leonardo DiCaprio or Jeff Bezos.
Oh, Leo, no doubt.
Yeah. So then why do we fucking emulate billionaires so much? Where's the book dissecting the psychology and the progression of somebody like DiCaprio? Pick your idols well, man. Pick your mentors well. Pick your goalposts well.
I feel like those guys are so private. Like you don't...
There's a lesson in that.
Yeah. What is the lesson?
Status giveth and taketh away. It both gives and efficient frontier. John Mayer is a guy that people should study, because I always say study naturals. A lot of dudes, this is another problem. All of us teach, right? We're like teachers. A lot of people teach are like, yo, I sucked with women, or I sucked with making money, but now I've hacked it how to do it. That is a good type of teacher to have. But make sure that's not 100% of your teachers. The other set of teachers you want are the naturals. Mr. Beast is probably a natural. He came up to visit me years ago. He said in 2020 or 19, right before COVID, he's like, I want to meet you. Been following you a long time. He's a natural. He started being good at business at 2012. At age 12. 12, 13, he's like, I started this. So that's a natural in money. So you want, if you're learning money, you want both the dudes who are like, for 20 years, every business I launched failed, like the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He's like, from age, I started my first company at 20. Every business either like burned down. He had like success. He was the unluckiest dude with money. And at like 69, he sold Kentucky Fried Chicken concept and became a multimillionaire. 69. So there's a certain lesson. But there's also, I don't want that dude to be too much of my mentor. I don't want to have every bit, you know what I mean? So you want the Mr. Beast luck when it comes to women. You want both the luck event guys that are just naturally good with women, as well as the dudes like, I was nerdy. I had this guy that
Red pill pickup artist.
Yeah, I had this marketing guy who was, I don't know if I'm sure he's in Red Pill now. But that guy, he's from Miami. He was probably the worst dude in the history of mankind with women. He eventually hacked it, reverse engineered to be able to be like, date sevens, okay? This guy, I remember asking him, I was like, were you always this bad? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I was bullied, like no one liked me. I was like, what's your worst horror story from high school? He's like, yeah, like I stood up to the football team because they were bullying me and I was like, fuck you. You can't do anything to me. I'm gonna stand up for my rights. And he's like, they picked me up and they took me to the track, that night and duct taped me to the thing and I couldn't get out. And then like the next day, somebody running track at like 6 a.m, some woman is like, I was like on the side, like help, like horizontal on the fence, like tied to the thing. So there's a certain lesson, because that guy, I remember going to Miami, he was dating like sevens. I was kind of like, you went from no woman would ever notice you were there. But also Mr. X, Drago. Yeah. That guy, I'm sure, I don't even think he's on social media. Be careful of people who loudly proclaim anything.
So no status or money, right?
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. He was, natural, no money.
Natural.
But natural. Casanova was a natural. The book, one of the great books forget red pill stuff. Read Casanova. He's so good that 500 years, almost 500 years from now, I mean, later from his birth, we still call a dude a Casanova if they're good with women, you know? Yeah, red pill is an interesting thing. That's an example of very accurate in about 95%, but 5% so deadly wrong that I'm not sure if it doesn't counteract the rest of the 95%. It's kind of like if you're 95% healthy, like you're ripped, you got the V-shaped, the gold, ratio, but you have like 5% of you full of tumors. Like, I'm not sure you're a healthy dude, And so red pill is very accurate in a lot of stuff. They're a reaction to the, ultra feministic kind of understanding. But for example, I just did in my 13th thesis, one of the second lessons I put in there is I call it the common theme. You know what the common theme is with men who are good with women? What do you think? The common theme.
They listen.
Listen. Throw out a couple hypotheses. Confidence.
They grew up around women.
Grew up around women. I'm not going to call you out if you're right or wrong. Just a guess, like your experience.
I would say confidence.
Yeah, some people would say tall. Tall dudes do well. I saw this 7-foot new recruit in the NBA, not Wemby or whatever, but another dude. He's like a college prospect.
Okay.
And they like interview him. He's like 7'2", and they're like, "What's the bad part about 7'2"? He's like, "I hit my head. I can't get clothes." He went through his long list. And then at the very end of the interview, they're like, "And what's good about it?" He's like, "Women like it." I remember being like, "Oh, that's a short
Makes
and
up
long."
for all the bad things.
Yeah, makes up for all the bad
yeah.
things. But okay, what do you think? Naturally good with women. Which one did you say? Being funny.
Put me on the spot now, don't I?
Throw anything out. Rich. Some dudes are like, rich guys do well. Good looking.
Yeah, good looking.
Okay. In my experience, and I think there's real science there, they love being around women. I know a guy, not Mr. X, not Drago. This guy that is one of my first students ever in my mastermind. Paid me $25,000 in 2013. And I helped revolutionize his life. He's still a close friend of mine. This dude, he goes out. There could be average-looking women, pretty women, ugly women. He could go home with one of them to sleep with them or not. He's like, Sometimes he says to me, he's like, I just love being around women. They're so refreshing. It's like men get on my nerve. He's like, I love. Who do you think he's better with, men or women? He sucks with men. He's not as good with men.
Yeah.
Women. So the main problem with red pill, these motherfuckers are traumatized by women and don't really like women.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be good. It's like money. What's the common theme of dudes are into money? I will tell you this. There's not a billionaire or hyper wealthy person on this planet that's not what we call greedy, which is another word for we love money. Dudes I don't love money enough to be as rich as people.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip, check out the full interview here. And if you want to see more clips from this episode, check it out right here.